Technically, the show is titled Become an Active Participant in Your Own Life, Get Out of Your Own Way. Good morning, YouTube, and good morning, TikTok. You're watching Live with LWL, Lindsay with Love. Today is May 1st, 2025. Holy cow, you guys. Holy cow. I can't believe we're already almost halfway done. I mean, we're a third for sure done with 2025. It's wild. I'm here to raise the frequency of the planet. So if you're just meeting me for the first time, hi, I'm Lindsay. I have been on my spiritual journey for what are we in 2025? 6 years, 6+ years. It has been quite an interesting ride, to say the least. And one of my soul missions, or my major soul mission, is to raise the frequency of the planet by teaching you your energy. So I'm helping you understand who you are from an energetic and spiritual perspective, so that you can really learn how to use the energy that is swirling all around you all of the time, through you, to you, for you, becoming an active participant in your life, and actually creating your best reality. You guys, let me fix the blinds. It's a little bit sunny in my eyes. Just a little bit sunny in my eyes. There we go. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Breathing in through the nose, belly nice and full. Holding it at the top. Letting it go. This is the final Thursday that I will be going live on TikTok. Next week, I'm starting a Monday through Wednesday schedule. Monday through Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those inside of the Cosmic Collective, we will go live on the Voice channel. It will be starting around like 9 o'clock as well, but likely only for about 30 minutes. It's going to be very motivational. It's going to be quick, in your face energy. We will get on the energetic wave together. We'll manifest together inside of there. So as your haircut is nice, I see layers. Oh my gosh, thank you. I cut it myself. And actually these layers, thank you. Thank you, Shay Shay. Good morning, Shay Shay. Welcome to the show. I say thank you because, geez, it's May already. How's everybody feeling? I'm feeling great. Although this morning has been kind of a little bit weird. Well, a little bit strange. Good morning. I don't know. That looks like a sad, happy face. So good morning. Welcome to the show. All right, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. So a couple of things this morning. I had my phone on loud. I never have my phone on. It's always on silent because I hate being distracted by noises and dings when I'm in creative flow state. So my phone was on loud because my partner was driving home late last night from the airport, and I wanted to make sure, like, if he needed me, I would see my phone, hear my phone ringing. And I fell asleep with it on. And this morning at a bright and early 6:30 a.m., the Amazon driver decided to text me because he couldn't get into my building. And I was like, wow, this building is like. This building, you guys, right? I mean, I ran from somebody in a mask, basically, Monday. I could barely get into my building. It takes seconds to get into the fob to work. And then now all the delivery people can't figure out how to get in either. And so it's like, I can't get in, delivery people can't get in. It's not worth complaining about. But it did give me a little bit annoying in my brain today. So I shook it off before the show. But in my jumping out of bed, being awoken by my phone ringing, and I was like, wait, what is happening? Is there an emergency or what? I was like, okay, well, now I'm awake. I might as well make a coffee. So I make a coffee. And my man is like, babe, did you make your coffee? I'll go take it into the room so you can read in bed. And I was like, yeah, I made it. It's right there. And he's like, yeah, but where's the cup? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't put a mug. I didn't put a mug under the thing. So, but then I got ready for the day and I went onto YouTube, as I do every single morning, because every single morning I listen to something motivational, whether it's Abraham Hicks, whether it's Simon Sinek, whether it's Jim Rohn, whether it's, a billion people come into my life. Bashar. Today, Warren Buffett found his way onto my YouTube For You page. How awesome is that? I thought to myself, well, thank you, universe, for letting me know that money is on the way to me. I love that. So I listened to Warren Buffett. It is a Masoni robe, Ava Lyria. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Quintrell Cooper, and thank you for the follow. Good morning, Dreama. Welcome to the show. Bex is in the house. Hey, Bex. How's it going, Bex? I've been thinking about you, Bex. Okay, so this morning I'll share with you, because I did take notes on it. I listened to a very quick Warren Buffett speech. Of course, everybody knows Warren Buffett, right? The man is brilliant when it comes to money moves in his life and creating wealth, not just, by the way, for himself, but wealth for lots of people. Lots of people. So that means he's helped raise the frequency of the planet in some way. Warren Buffett says that people succeed. The people that succeed, they know that they have it in themselves. They know that they could be something beyond where they are, and they are willing to put their time and energy in to better themselves. Good morning, Bex. Brenda's in the house. Hey, VIP Brenda, welcome to the show. Welcome. So here are the lessons from this video. He was basically sharing a couple of different lessons around people that started with like $2,500 and sold their companies to him for like $60 million to $100 million. Immigrant stories where people didn't ever learn to speak read or write English language, yet they still managed to create these million-dollar businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses. Stories around people who started off doing something that they found that they loved around the age of 35 and didn't really have their first successful business idea until their 40s or past, and yet they still managed to build really powerful lives for themselves. Now, of course, having an abundant lifestyle doesn't just mean you have a lot of money. It means that you have the health to enjoy your money. It means you've got loving relationships in your life, you're fulfilled, you're happy, you're content, you're calm, and money is just a small part of all of that, right? Right? So here are Warren Buffett's lessons. Here are Warren Buffett's lessons. He says, if you have the drive and you keep your customers in mind, you will experience exponential growth. He didn't say exponential growth, but I did, because that was a story he was telling. He was basically like the lady went into a furniture business. The guy started enterprise. There was already for car rental, there was already Hertz and the other ones that I hate renting cars. You know, all the other ones that we must go through when we're traveling, if we're flying and then driving. And anyway, the guy started enterprise at the age of like 40 or something with 17 cars, and he just blew up. Why? Because of his customer service. Nordstrom has a similar story, right? Everyone knew Nordstrom as the department store with like the best customer service. So if you keep your customer in mind and you have the drive to delight your customer always, and not just delight your customer, but you're delighted to delight your customer, right? Like, there's nothing more exciting for me in my life than watching all of the women inside of the Cosmic Collective change their lives. That is the best part of all of my day, every single day. Do I love my wins? Yes, of course. Guys, I gained over 1,000 followers off of 4 TikTok videos, and it's still climbing. I gained 1,000 followers in 24 hours. Holy shit. Awesome. I want to talk about the energy in the sky after I share these lessons, because there is serious dream come true energy in the sky for the next 4 days. And then on top of it, there's not just money, luck, energy in the sky for everybody, but there's also millionaire, billionaire energy in the sky for everybody. You guys, it is a powerful transformational month, so tap in. But by the way, and I'll share this now just so I don't forget it, I have a lot of people in the comments on my horoscope video saying, everybody says this every month and it's never my month. It's been a bad year for 10 years. And I'm thinking, well, that's because you have a shitty attitude, but I'm not going to say that to people, obviously. But that's kind of what I think initially. But the next thought is, are you actually actively participating in your life? The energy potential is there, but you have got to go out and take action. Go get what's yours. If that's what you want, if you want more money, if you want a dream come true, you got to be part of creating it, right? So don't forget. Don't forget. By the way, I'm a little sassy this morning. Woke up to the Amazon driver calling me, which is not how I enjoy waking up. Personally, I like to wake up when the sun hits my eyes ever so, when I get out of a dream and I can feel that I'm starting to hear the birds, which means my body's coming back from sleep state. I like to just flutter my eyes a little, stretch a little, not be like, whoa, what's going on? So, VIP Jewel says, excellent. Nicole, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. Ava says, oh, what's going on? Amazing. Oh my gosh, I've got to get caught up with the comments, you guys. Good morning, Bex. Good morning. Jules, VIP Jules says, I knew his name but couldn't recall why. Had to Google. Tee. Warren Buffett? The Warren Buffett? Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett has made me money, by the way, because I've invested into Berkshire Hathaway. And because it's his company, he's made me money, which is nice. VIP Brenda, good morning. Ava Lyria says, amazing success still possible later in life at any age. If you have the determination and you believe that you can do something, it doesn't matter. Everyone's on their own timeline anyway. Some people, in fact, have it caked into their birth chart that they are late bloomers in life. Some people. Certain aspects, certain planetary placements, it just is what it is. Congratulations if you know that about yourself, because then you won't give up, right? Imagine, I was getting so frustrated back in the day when I was climbing the corporate ladder, working jobs I hated, only to find out that I'm meant to be doing what I'm doing now, which is teaching my spiritual knowledge and wisdom and motivating people into transcending into higher frequencies. using my intuitive psychic capabilities to tap into the energies of others and actually give them guidance on what to do in a physical way to change their lives. VIP Jewel says, Ava Lyria, facts, I'm going on 47 and with Lindsay's help, my life is just now taking off. Ah! I just read your comment, VIP Jewels. I love that. And oh my gosh, you do not look 47 at all. I would have never guessed that. I would have gone with like, I don't know, low 30s. Go girl. What's your skincare secret? Tell us. Angela, Tennessee, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. Ava says to Jules, awesome, congratulations. Nicole, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the show. Cynthia, welcome to the follow. Welcome to the show. Thank you for the follow. Be the light. Good morning. Welcome back. How are you? How are you? All right. He says, okay, so you guys, reminder, astrology is an awareness tool. Astrology says this is what's happening in the sky, but as a human spiritual being, you need to go do something with that information. Information is information. Knowledge is not power, by the way. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only power when you implement the knowledge you have. So it's very important to understand that energetically. VIP Jewel says, oh, I love you even more now than I already did. Yeah, I would have never guessed that. VIP Jewels, girl, I'm very excited for your astrology this month specifically, because everything that you've been mentioning inside of the Cosmic Collective is like, this is a month for it. It's really wild. It's super awesome. So Warren Buffett says, you need to focus on what you can change, and that is the customer experience. So of course this is very money, like side hustle related, but what if it was just more so like you're trying to build out your social media? Would you be so tapped into only sharing what you want to share, or would you take other people's desires and ideas to heart? I don't know. Something to think about. When you're an artist, I think it's a challenge between staying true to your art while also simultaneously showcasing it in a way that people can understand and it actually does do something for them. That's always been my battle. I'm like, okay, well, I can say some things, but I don't think people might not even understand what I'm saying. Are you on my vibe? I don't know. But you can always focus on changing somebody's life and making an impact. Kelly, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. Jamie's in the house. Hey, VIP Jamie, how are you? My Cosmic Collective girlies are here. Hey, Sarah, good morning on YouTube. Warren Buffett says you don't always get it right on the first try. Remember when I had a different business and it failed? Technically it didn't fail. I learned a lot, right? But because I don't really think anything's a failure. But I didn't get it right on the first try. That's for certain. Second try, I think I'm getting it right. So he says you don't always get it right on the first try. The test isn't if you have the best business or money idea in the world the first time. The test is if you can keep learning as you go and discover what your strengths are and what you can do to make something special for somebody else. I think that's a really good advice. He says to do this, you need a genuine desire to delight the customer. He says you're not always going to remember the price you paid for something, but you're always going to remember how you were treated and the experience, right? I think that's true. I think that's true. We were talking a lot about how your worthiness is not tied to others' opinions of you. Sarah, we were talking about this yesterday inside the Cosmic Collective. We were talking about it yesterday on the morning show. Simon Sinek says, your worth is not tied to others' opinions of you. This morning I was in the shower, I was getting ready, and I was like, maybe we need to look at it from like a likability perspective. Like, from a very tangible perspective, do people need to know you, like you, trust you to give some money to you? Yes, they do. But at the end of the day, your likability still is not determined by every single person in the world. If you like you, that's all that matters, right? Also, I think it's a numbers game, right? There's 8 billion people in the world. You guys, this is the cutest thing ever. Last night I was talking to my grandma. She's 92. And they were doing like a Greek themed week at her home health care facility where she lives. And she has pictures of her in this like toga, like vine crown. And she is sitting there like sass city. So I called her and I was like, who is this Grecian goddess grandma of mine? And she was laughing so hard. I was like, Grandma, are you okay? Because she's like kind of short of breath. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, okay. And I was telling her about how I have 37,000 plus people interested in watching me on the internet. And she was like, oh my gosh, Lindsay, out of 20 million people in the world, that's amazing. And I was like, Grandma. No, then I told her I wanted 20 million followers. And she said, 20 million? She goes, there's only like 100 million in the world. That's what she said. And I was like, Grandma, there is 8 billion people in the world. She was like, oh, I don't know that. And I was like, there is. And actually, I wonder how we actually know that though. But anyway, supposedly, right? I thought that was super cute. And at the end of the day, if you like you and you exude your worthiness and your value to others, you will attract people. It's kind of like a visceral thing versus a literal thing. Sarah, I think we still should talk about it in the next spiritual chat. But it kind of was in my brain today too. I was like, well, maybe it's a likability thing. Thank you, VIP Jules, for the money gun. Thank you. It's a money week in the sky. We're going to talk about it in 2 seconds. Warren Buffett said something quite interesting. He said you need to learn how to multiply yourself. This idea of automation has been in my mind for a long time. I have one thing I can do, and in fact, I'll probably purchase it today or sometime this week, maybe this weekend, which is to automate certain parts of my business even more. So I'm not touching anything when somebody, or like some things are a little bit manual right now. Only because I really haven't wanted to like put money into it not being manual because of what's going on in my business right now. However, I also think, well, if I really want to expand my business big time, then I would just invest in it. And then I would tell God, Source, Universe, Creator that I'm ready, right? So I think I'll buy that today. Good morning, VIP Mel L. VIP Jewel says, it's so true. Like Habax mentioned, ciabatta bread. So now I'm trying to learn so I can teach her. Exactly. Exactly. And by the way, you'll teach her and then you'll teach everybody else on TikTok who wants to know, right? Warren Buffett says, learn how to multiply yourself. He says, choose the right partner in life. I thought this was a very interesting one. I think about all the ex-boyfriends I've had and I'm like, thank goodness I didn't end up with that one. Not because they're not good people, but just because it was not a good match, right? He says the partner that you choose in life is probably one of the most important decisions, if not the most important decision you will ever make. I brag about my partner all the time, right? If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't probably be sitting in front of you guys today, because there's multiple times I just wanted to quit because nothing was happening and nothing was happening, and I was trying and I was trying and I was trying and I was trying and nothing was happening. And he was like, don't give up. You're like, I know you can do it. You have something special here. Just keep going. On the flip side, my partner has a very high level job, career, and I'm sure that he brags about me too, because I do a lot of like silent supporting, right? A lot of holding the energy, a lot of understanding of the schedules and all those things. So it's really important to get the right partner in life. And finally, he says, Warren Buffett says, surround yourself with people who are better than you. You know, they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. It's like that kind of a vibe. He says you move in the direction of the people you associate with. Cosmic Collective members, why do you think every single one of you is changing your life for the better? If there is a Cosmic Collective member that's not starting a side hustle, starting a new part of their business, creating a product, then they're getting promoted at their jobs, there's interviews being lined up, their family members are getting new promotions and new raises, they're happier, they're becoming healthier, their positivity is increasing exponentially. That's what happens when you hang out with people that are moving in the direction you want to move in. So if you're interested in that, you actually want to transform your life in whatever way you want to, it always starts with your energy. So that's what I'll teach you inside. It's not a business community, it is a transformational community, but it's likely that by the time you're done with me, you'll probably want to find more ways to make money. Why not? Why not? If we can control our lives, why not? Holy cannoli, VIP Catherine says, just listening and this screamed through the phone. Oh, turn it down, girlfriend. No, I'm just joking. Challah bread, is that how you say it? I think I'm saying it right. It's so good, especially for French toast bake. Challah bread. Challah bread. Holy cannoli. I knew I was spelling it wrong. Oh, because one is challah and then there's ciabatta bread. My God, you guys, don't talk about bread. Now I'm like, I want to go to the bakery. No, let's stop this bread talk right now. Okay, there's 2 different breads going on here. Good morning, Felicia. Good morning, Belle. Welcome to the show. Good morning, VIP Deborah. All right. He says that you need to look for people that are examples to you rather than people that you think you can or need to fix. Warren Buffett said that. Warren Buffett said that. He says, you need to look for people, whether it's friends, whether it's a community you join, whether it's your partner. You need to look for people that are examples to you rather than people you think you can or need to fix. It is not your job to fix anybody in this lifetime. Besides yourself, by the way. You do have to heal yourself. Hello, that's the part. That's like you becoming an active participant in your life is the healing process. That's how it starts. VIP Jules says, haha, I should send you guys a pic of my new cinnamon roll badge. They turned out so pretty. You should post it on TikTok. VIP Jules, you should post it on TikTok. All right, so let's talk about the sky really quickly. I'll be posting you guys my May horoscopes on YouTube. They are different than the horoscopes on TikTok. Why? Because I only have like 3 minutes to talk very quickly on TikTok, whereas on YouTube I have as much time as I desire in the world. And the YouTube ones are going to go through all of the transits for you, specifically based on your rising sign. But if you don't know your rising, watch for your sun or your moon. And if you don't know your, or you can watch for all three for a very nice comprehensive kind of picture of what's to come. And because there's so much happening in May, make sure you're hitting the follow button now because I'm about to tell you what's happening this week. And I'm going to be, I don't know if I'll do weekly, like starting today horoscopes because I just got done posting May. But I'm definitely going to be doing like Mercury horoscopes, Venus aspects, because there's so much, you guys. Saturn, the moon. So make sure to, editing it is all new for me. Yeah, it is. It'll take some time. And what did Lindsay just say? Yeah, I know. It's like, what did I say? What is being screamed at you, Catherine? Well, Catherine, I think, is at school today, so she can't type that much. So maybe she can tell us in the Discord later. All right, so in the sky today for the next, I don't know, May 1st through 4th, for the first time ever in anybody's lives, by the way, so it's going to be a nice surprise for all of us. Venus is conjunct Neptune in the sky, in the sign of Aries, okay? So if you really want to get specific, look for your Aries in your sky. Where is Aries in your chart? First house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, whatever. And Venus and Neptune are conjunct, which means they're close to each other. So when planets are close to each other, their energies merge and amplify. What is Venus? It's the energy of love and money. What is Neptune? It's the energy of your dreams fulfilled. There is an opportunity for these first 4 days, like something in your life, if you've had a big dream lately, like there is opportunity for it to be fulfilled. Whether it's a love dream, whether it's a money dream, or it's a both dream. Interestingly enough, I have this conjunction in my 10th house of my career and my business and my social reputation. So it does make perfect sense that over the last couple of days and probably continuing, I'll gain a lot of followers on social media. Why? Because I have the energy of personal magnetism, of radiance, of charisma. So do you, somewhere in your chart, mixed with my dreams come true. I have been writing in my journal my TikTok goals for the last couple of months. Every single day. It's part of the 6-month transformation inside of the Cosmic Collective. And I've been writing and I've been writing, and every single day I know what the goal is, and every single day I get closer to the goal. It's how it works, energetically speaking. People make the idea of energy too complicated. They intellectualize it rather than feel it. So when you find yourself saying words like I think, I would ask you to stop thinking so much and perhaps tap into your body. What do you feel? What is your intuition telling you, right? Two different things. Catherine says, picking the right relationship. Oh, synchronicities that we were just talking about. VIP Deborah, VIP Joel says, yes, money. That's why I chose the money gun today, by the way. Because I was like, give me the money. I'm ready. Yep, it's in my 11th house. Watch my dreams come true. Ooh, VIP Jules, 11th house of the money you earn from your career. 11th house of your authenticity, 11th house of your friends and groups and organizations you belong to. You could meet like a soulmate bestie. Money could float, tons of money could flow to you from your work, like an extra bonus, an extra raise, something like that. Eva R, thank you for sharing the live. Jen Tenacious is in the house. Good morning, Jen. Good morning. So outside of that, you guys, there's also two other very exciting aspects happening. One is Venus. I want to make sure with my notes that I don't say it right. I think it's a Venus square Jupiter and a Venus sextile Jupiter, Venus square Pluto. So let me just grab my horoscope notes really quickly. I have all the aspects written down. Yeah, Venus sextile Pluto. Venus sextile Pluto. Okay, so Venus sextile Pluto, if you have this in your natal chart, you have the opportunity to be a millionaire or billionaire in this lifetime. Imagine you got your you had your birth chart, your report from me. And in the money part of it, I was like, you don't have any money blocks in this lifetime. Congratulations. And then I went on to say, by the way, not only do you have money luck in your chart, but you also have millionaire, billionaire energy. Perhaps you got this report, but you've been thinking your whole life you were just destined to be kind of living paycheck to paycheck. And then you find out that you have the potential in your chart to become a millionaire. That would probably put you into motion, right? You'd be like, well, shit, now that I know this, I probably want to go try to figure out how to do this for myself, right? I'm sassy today, you guys. I'm feeling a little sassy. Ugh. What's going on? I just want to like, oh. I have all the rest, just need that cash. Go on, VIP Jewels. Okay, back to work. VIP Deborah says to VIP Catherine. So not only all week do we have Venus, sextile Pluto, millionaire, billionaire, kiss in the sky, but we also have I want to say something with Jupiter, but maybe I should open my astrology here. I've got my astrology software right here, so I'm opening it for you guys. We also have a Jupiter Venus. Here we go. Yeah, it's kind of broad. You might receive news. So the other one is like a news around abundance, around money. So you've got this energy of like millionaire, billionaire energy in the sky, and then you might hear something, or a synchronicity might come through, or somebody might give you an idea to make more money, to start your business, to invest in something that pays off, you might hear like, you know, the last like big Mega Millions winner, she was like, wasn't the story something where she said she heard, she was told like at the last minute to go buy a ticket, and like the numbers and everything, like clairaudience came to her and told her, and then she won. It's like that kind of a vibe. So tap in. Sassy Lens is my fave. Yeah, maybe I should just be sassy always. It's challenging because like on one hand I'm like, I get a little bit frustrated sometimes with the people that drop into like my comment section that say like, every astrologer says my life is going to get better, and I'm like, okay, well if you're just sitting on the sofa all day, like what do you think's gonna happen, right? So sometimes I do get a little bit annoyed, like go do something, become an active participant in your life. You've got to. You're the number one player of the game. And in fact, you love playing games so much. Remember who taught us this? Julia Cannon. She says, not only did you create this game for yourself, but you also decided that you were going to forget that you were playing a game because you wanted it to be so hard, because you already mastered all of the other games. You're on the final level in this lifetime on Earth. You're a master manifester. But a lot of people forget that there's something called the law of action in this universe, which means you actually have to go do something to create your reality. You can't just sit around twiddling your thumbs thinking that it's going to happen for you. You reap what you sow, right? It's that kind of a vibe. The law of compensation actually tells us that, which basically says you reap what you sow. And I think there's like biblical text around that as well. So look, if Jesus is telling us this and the universal laws are telling us this, then that means we've kind of got to go do something with our lives. Yeah, Jewel says, that's what I am manifesting happens when I pick up those ticks that I won next week. Go on, my friend. Go get your lotto winnings. If you have Leo in your 5th house, like Aries rising people, you're probably like really lucky when it comes to like gambling and stuff. Leo rules my 2nd house of money. And of course, also my 3rd house of communication, which is why Sassy Lindsay, I think, comes out sometimes, right? Because it's combined. I have to be a little entertaining to receive my money in this lifetime, and a little bit sassy too, I suppose. A little dramatic flair once in a while. Once in a while, I was thinking to share with you guys some information I learned. This is from the book, The Teachings of Don Juan. This is the 2nd book called The Separate Reality. VIP Catherine says, it's my mom's 5th, gonna tell her to play. But be mindful because that, like, Leo and Sagittarius. Leo more lucky, Sagittarius a little bit like loose. Like make sure there's rules around like when you're playing, right? If you're a lottery player, if you're somebody who likes to go to the casino, even if it's just bingo, like give yourself some rules. Even as like somebody who trades options in the stock market, like our coaches said, like you must have rules. Like don't think you're gonna hit it on the next spin. Like if you've lost your 50% and that's your rule, you gotta cash out, right? So make sure you have rules. Oh, that's okay, VIP Jules. It's but your partner does. And the eighth house, by the way, VIP Jules is joint resources. So your partner is always like getting these extra gigs, and the friends giving the money, or the friends giving the tickets, and the cousins giving the money. I mean, come on, girl. So it's okay. You're helping him out energetically. He just doesn't know it. He just doesn't know it. All right, let's read, because this is important information. And it's just kind of a wu-wei conversation today, you guys. I just woke up so weird with that stupid Amazon call. Like, who calls somebody at 6:30 in the morning? I mean, I get it that they have a job to do. I'm also very annoyed with this building because I did my best with my phone to like give him access, but there's like, in the buildings I live in, there's like 20 doors on each building. I mean, maybe that's dramatic, but there's like at least 6 or 7 doors on each building. So I'm like, I don't even know which door to choose because it doesn't really make sense. It's not very intuitive. I'm gonna go down there today and figure it out for myself, so that way I can help, like next time I can actually get my package. I'm kind of annoyed because it was supposed to come last night, and it was like intentional to get it yesterday, but that's okay. I'm in divine order, right? Yeah, I need to do his chart. VIP Jewel says, I'll do a 2 for order from you. There you go. VIP Deborah says, isn't that what our roles are as women for the other partners? Well, I think for both people, right? I think like relationships are just a beautiful give and take. I don't really even think you need to compromise so much as just like understand the other person and just view them from the most high vibration all the time. Even when they're annoying you, even when, I don't know, they're making loud noises or whatever they're doing. You just have to say, you know what, I view you from the highest vibration. Don't forget my mace. Yeah, no kidding. No, I'm just gonna go right outside the door, so I won't need it. I'm not going outside. Although I will take Pippi for a walk today, but I'm gonna just be really mindful around who's in the neighborhood. You guys, I have like a full-on like legit taser. I don't know if I can say that on TikTok, probably not. My man was like, just take it and like push the button every so often so people know not to mess with you. And I was like, that's kind of aggressive, but maybe. All right, Don Juan says, this is a book, The Teachings of Don Juan. It's book number 2 by Carlos Castaneda, who is described as a Westerner talking to the Yaqui. Don Juan is part of the Yaqui tribe in Mexico, I want to say. But he lives, in the book, he lives in, I want to say, Arizona and Mexico, and they're kind of going back and forth, I think, if I remember correctly. There's a lot in these books as far as like spirituality, energetic understandings, and I think one thing that I'm reading right now is very true, which is some things on the spiritual journey cannot be intellectually explained to somebody that's not experienced them. No matter how hard you try, you just can't intellectualize it, and you can't put it into words, because words are constructs and they're limiting. Anytime there's a construct, it's limiting, right? And words are a construct of of our language. So back before language, I guess, people speak telepathically, and I think that's beautiful because there's no lying when you speak telepathically. You can't lie, and you get the vision, you get the feeling, you get the words, you get everything, you get the experience, right? So it takes out all of the miscommunication. So anyway, should I start there? Maybe I'll start, we'll get there very quickly, so I'll start where I'm at the beginning. I'll just share with you what I've highlighted in the book so far, because it's quite powerful. He says, Don Juan says to Carlos, he says, you want to cling to your arguments, despite the fact that they bring nothing to you. You want to remain the same, even at the cost of your well-being. And Carlos says, I don't know what you're talking about. And Don Juan says, I'm talking about the fact that you're not complete. You have no peace. And he says, and then Carlos keeps writing, and he says, that statement annoyed me. I felt offended. I thought he was certainly not qualified to pass judgment on my acts or my personality. And then Don Juan says, you're plagued with problems, he said. Why? I'm only a man, Don Juan, I said peevishly. I made that statement in the same vein my father used to make it. Whenever he said he was only a man, he implicitly meant he was weak and helpless, and his statement, like mine, was filled with an ultimate sense of despair. Don Juan peered at me as he had done the first day we met. You think about yourself too much, he said, and smiled. And that gives you a strange fatigue that makes you shut off the world around you and cling to your arguments. Therefore, all you have is problems. I'm only a man too, but I don't mean that the way you do. How do you mean it? I've vanquished my problems. Too bad my life is so short that I can't grab onto all the things I would like to. But that is not an issue, it's only a pity. You want to cling to your arguments despite the fact that they bring nothing to you. The people that argue with me in the astrology videos. Okay, whatever. Okay, well, you can argue with me about astrology all you want. However, I would ask you what you've done to use the energy to your advantage. That's what I want to know. And until you tell me that, I don't think I can help you. All right, so I thought that was quite interesting and quite powerful information. It reminded me of the time I watched that one episode of America's Next Top Model, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she said, why are you so committed to your own mediocrity? In other words, why are you so committed to defending your average life? The girl didn't want to get a makeover, and they were like, we're trying to actually help you become a top model. Isn't that what you signed up for? And the girl thought she was smarter than the experts in the room. Now, I know that show has a lot of bad rep now because I'm sure it's probably not the healthiest show. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting when that woman said that to that girl, and I will never forget it. You're defending your own mediocrity. So the length or to the frequency you can grow really depends upon how open you are to constructive criticism and releasing the ego and actually stepping into a higher version of yourself, right? Oh, that hits, VIP Mel says, yeah. I'll never forget it. I heard it when I was really young too. Thank you for the money gun, VIP Deborah. Money energy in the sky, you guys. Tap in. He goes on to say, he says, feeling important. This is Don Juan talking to Carlos. He says, and Don Juan, of course, is the spiritual guru here. The sorcerer is what it's called, but what they call it in the book, or call him in the book, kind of like a medicine man, shaman type of energy. He says, feeling important makes one heavy, clumsy, and vain. To be a man of knowledge, one needs to be light and fluid. Don Juan's particular interest in his second cycle of apprenticeship was to teach me to see. This is going to become very important, seeing, okay? He says, apparently in his system of knowledge, there was the possibility of making a semantic difference between seeing and looking as two distinct manners of perceiving. Now, Cosmic Collective members, if you've done the lesson already that I just posted last night for May's spiritual lesson, I discussed this. And once you understand it, it becomes so powerful. But you can't intellectualize it. You must integrate it. Less thinking about it and more taking action so it comes into your aura and becomes a part of you. He says, looking referred to the ordinary way in which we were accustomed to perceive the world, while seeing entailed a very complex process by virtue of which a man of knowledge allegedly perceives the essence of the things of the world. This is what happens when you embark upon a spiritual journey. This is why when I meet people, I can almost pinpoint with pretty quick accuracy and certainty after a short conversation and reviewing their body language and listening to their words and understanding the tone of their voice, how quickly they speak, what they're speaking about, the way that they look, all of these things. I'm like, okay, well, you need to heal this chakra. There's self-worth issues hanging out here. There's some confidence issues hanging out here. You're too in your head, drop into the body, right? So looking is very 3D. It's very literal. There is a tree outside. Seeing is seeing the essence of something or someone, understanding their energy, seeing. And when I say seeing, he is speaking from a space of clairvoyance seeing, which that is actually one of my weakest powers is clairvoyance. I would say my weakest actually of all my clairs. My strongest is clairaudience, but I have very strong claircognizance and sentience as well. So it's like I can it's like understanding the tones of the words, there's a vibration coming off of words when people say certain things that they're not really meaning what they say, even if they're believing that they mean what they say. There's a superpower within me that says, like, you're not, something is not matching energetically here. So that's what this book is about, and it's quite interesting. I'm gonna go to the next note that I took. He says, he talks about the way that people look when he sees them. He says men look different when you see. And he talks, so he uses different mushrooms and different plants to tap into a hallucinogenic state. Which, by the way, you don't have to do. Like, I know a lot of people are into, like, using herbs to enhance their spirituality, but that doesn't need to be part of your journey at all. I know that because I don't use those things at all, and I'm still very connected, okay? He says, men look different when you see. The little smoke is what he calls it, will help you to see men as fibers of light. And Carlos says fibers of light. And Don Juan says, yes, fibers, like little cobwebs, very fine threads that circulate from the head to the navel. Thus, a man looks like an egg of circulating fibers, and his arms and legs are like luminous bristles bursting out in all directions. And Carlos says, is this the way everyone looks? And Don Juan says, everyone. Besides, every man is in touch with everything else. Not through his hands, though, but through a bunch of long fibers that shoot out from the center of his abdomen. Those fibers join a man to his surroundings. They keep his balance. They give him stability. So as you may see someday, a man is a luminous egg, whether he's a beggar or a king, and there's no way to change anything, or rather, what could be changed in that luminous egg. So the beauty here, I think, is in the idea that he's connecting the law of one in this teaching, which says we are all connected through these fibers from our abdomen. Now, interestingly enough, I just read a very, very, very old text. And perhaps I read it too quickly, but in this text, and also we do this in Bikram yoga, we breathe from the solar plexus at the end of the class. And in this very old text, they talk about breathing from your solar plexus often throughout the day, because that is actually where, like, the life comes from. And I will learn more about that for you so that I can actually articulate it a little bit more clearly and give more guidance and direction about that. But maybe that's just a seed to plant in your mind right now, that the solar plexus chakra is very important. Now, don't forget that every single chakra is important, but the solar plexus is in charge of your confidence, your personal power, and all matters of growth and expansion. So what is all matters of growth and expansion but your soul's evolution? But to get to the solar plexus chakra, you need to heal the root, you need to heal the sacral, and then the energy can flow nicely to the solar plexus. And by the way, without confidence in life, what's actually happening for you? You're not going to go ask for the raise or promotion. You're not going to apply for the new job. You're not going to ask the person out. You're not going to put yourself out there. Confidence is so important to creating your best life. You've got to have it. And by the way, it's not a fake it till you make it confidence. That doesn't work. That is building on fake energetics, and it will eventually crumble in your face. I did it when I went into fashion. I was like, oh, fake it till you make it, ha ha ha. And then the door slammed in my face so many times. And it just was not a good experience. Mushroom coffee, there you go. Yeah, get that ashwagandha coffee going. Or the lion's mane. I know, I was like, what is it? What is it? Sometimes I tap my head, I get the answer, right? Connect. What is the answer? Hello, hello. VIP Jamie's giving me peace signs. Go girl. Do what you got to do. All I'm saying is you can use those things to perhaps enhance your experience, but I think it's important not to rely on those things to move through your life. That's kind of my take on it. Beck says the place Ta, which looks like the tree of life. The place Ta. Oh, the placenta. I was like, what is the placenta? Thank you, Bex. The placenta, which looks like the tree of life. There you go. Yeah. Absolutely, VIP Jimmy says. All right, let's keep going. So Don Juan and him are talking, and Carlos is a lot afraid. He's afraid throughout this journey with Don Juan. In the first book, he's afraid. In the second book, still afraid. In fact, he quits his apprenticeship at one point because he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is scaring me. I feel like I'm losing grip of reality. And Don Juan is like, what is reality? Like, what do you mean by that? But Carlos can't explain it because Carlos doesn't see, because he's very stuck in his physical senses, you see. You cannot stay so stuck in your physical senses. You've got to release yourself out. Don Juan says, don't think about your fear. Think about the wonders of seeing. I don't know why I highlighted that. Oh, maybe I was meant to highlight more, but I was probably reading at my nail appointment. No, I don't know. I'm going to keep going because I think I was just at my nail appointment. I probably needed to highlight more, but it's kind of hard when the guy's doing my nails. I'm like trying to highlight my Kindle book. Don't think about your fear, think about the wonders of seeing. I guess it's actually a powerful statement anyway, right? Because some people are so caught up in their fear, which is having them caught up in their physical world. And rather than being so caught up in your physical world, why not just see what it would be like to follow your intuition for a couple of days? That's how I started this whole like Lindsay with love. When my business started to expand was when I just started to only listen to my intuition all day, every day. It was like a very fun experiment. And now I couldn't even imagine living life where I had to make all these decisions all day. I just go along with my energetic flow. Anybody can do it. All right, let's see. All right. This one's interesting. Okay, so Carlos is complaining about the heat. He's complaining about the heat. They're in a car and they're driving somewhere in the desert and he's complaining about the heat to Don Juan, his teacher, right? And you know a spiritual teacher always loves to hear somebody complaining. Just kidding, that's a joke. He says, I said that I had always disliked the heat since my childhood because every summer I used to feel suffocated and could hardly breathe. Don Juan replies, you're not a child now. Carlos says, the heat still suffocates me. Don Juan says, well, hunger used to suffocate me when I was a child, he said softly. To be very hungry was the only thing I knew as a child, and I used to swell up until I couldn't breathe either. But that was when I was a child. I cannot suffocate now. Neither can I swell like a toad when I'm hungry. Kind of implying like you have the power to grow out of the programming of your childhood. This is a very subtle lesson, which is why I highlighted it. Which the response is just so beautiful. You're not a child now. You're not a child now. So any weird things, bullying, weird parenting things, whatever, sibling shit, like any of that, can let that go because you're an adult now. You're in a different frequency. So you don't have to experience those same things anymore. VIP Jamie says the neural system looks like a tree. Dendritic nerves look like tree branches. As above, so below, right? As above, so below. As above, so below. Yep, that's right. So it's like seeing, right? Beck's talking about the tree of life. Jamie talking about the neural system. That is seeing, because you're seeing the essence of something. Physically, you see what it looks like, the tree of life, but the tree of life is the essence of something. Ew, adult bullies are gross. DC, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the chat. The point being, Don Juan saying to him, he's like, oh, the heat bothers me. I swell up and I can't breathe. I'm suffocated. And he just so like blatantly says, you are not a child anymore. Poor Carlos, because, you know, throughout it, he gets a little bit annoyed with Don Juan because, you know, he has these zingers, these one-liners that kind of shut him right up because he knows they're true. And there's really not much argument to them. What are you going to say back to that? I am a child still. No, you're not. You're going to be like, oh, okay, shit. Well, shit. All right, then, I guess. All right, he says, this is interesting. This is, now they're kind of talking about, they're still driving and they're talking about Carlos's fears. And Don Juan says, once you decided to come to Mexico, you should have put all of your petty fears away. He said very sternly, Your decision to come should have vanquished them. You came because you wanted to come. That's the warrior's way. I have told you time and time again, the most effective way to live is as a warrior. Worry and think before you make any decision, but once you make it, be on your way free from worries or thoughts. There will be a million other decisions still awaiting you. That's the warrior's way. My left ear just started like, ee. That's the warrior's way. I'm going to say that one more time, and then we're going to go over to VIP energy. Good morning, Kiki Law. Welcome to the show. Sarah's giving me lightning bolts and hearts. Go on, my friend. Let's, you guys, I'm going to read it slowly, and I'm going to go into like a high vibration heart voice Lindsay. So I'm going to go slow. We're going to say it again. Perhaps you want to listen with your ear, hear with your ears and listen with your body. This is a very powerful lesson. It's a powerful lesson, but it's a feelings lesson. It's not a physical lesson where you're hearing information. It's, I'm integrating this understanding into my soul. Because you can intellectualize all day long, but until you've integrated, you won't switch into a new frequency. Okay, so maybe you want to close your eyes and put your hand on your heart, tap in. He says, remember, this is Don Juan speaking, so I'm going to read it exactly as it is. Once you decided to come to Mexico, you should have put all your petty fears away, he said very sternly. Your decision to come should have vanquished them. You came because you wanted to come. That's the warrior's way. I have told you time and time again, the most effective way to live is as a warrior. Worry and think before you make any decision. But once you make it, be on your way, free from worries or thoughts. There will be a million other decisions still awaiting you. That's the warrior's way. In other words, hem and haw all you want before you make your decision, but as soon as you make your decision, you are moving forward. Looking ahead, no turning back, right? Looking ahead, no turning back. Because once you start along on your way, you've already decided. When you decide is when you actually start the momentum. You decide, I am building a successful, thriving business so I can support myself and my family and build future generations to come with passive income that's just steady living on forever. Boom, I just told the universe. So now God, source, universe, creator, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call the highest energy that is, has said, okay, noted, we're going to get to work with you. Remember, you are an active participant in your life, so now you're collaborating with the highest, most intelligent, most supportive, powerful energy that is. So you're marching along your way, and you start to worry, you start to think, you're too in your mind, I'm thinking, you're not feeling through the path, and you start to have some fears and worries and self-doubt, and every time you do that, you tell the universe, oh, just kidding, just kidding. And then the universe is like, okay, well, I guess just kidding. Then you have to start back up once you get over the fear and the doubt, and you have to start back up, and you have to start back up, and this is called self-sabotage. Why are you doing that? Don't self-sabotage. Stand on it once you make that decision. Exactly, 10 toes, stand on business. What did you decide to do? Go do it. Go do it. By the way, anything that most of you are deciding to do, somebody has already done. And not to say like you shouldn't go do it, because your voice is important, your energy is important, and you're going to do it in a way that's so unique because you're the only person that's doing it your way, right? But realize that they're like, if hundreds of people have started a business before you and that's what you're trying to do, it must not be that scary. It's in your mind, right? It must not be that scary. If hundreds of people have found their soulmate, it can't be that scary, right? So there's all these things we just trick ourselves. I do that too, VIP Brenda says, reason I'm here, it needs to stop. This live will be on replay today. Yes, it will, as always, on YouTube at I'm Lindsay with Love. Life is just a compilation of personal choices. You have to choose, you have to choose you. Exactly, VIP Jamie. That was D, VIP Brenda says. Yep, oop, felt, VIP Jewel says. I guess I'm in like sassy Lindsay mode because I'm really proud of every single person inside the Cosmic Collective. Every single one of you has totally transformed your lives. sometimes I get annoyed though, because I'm like, wow, everybody says they want to do something. Like, people outside of the Cosmic Collective, you say you want it, but then like, what are you actually doing? And then I'll say like, well, what are you doing? And they're like, oh. Sometimes you need a little bit of that like oomph, you know, like in your face, like, oh, it's like, oh shit, damn. Because I see people, like when I'm interacting on the internet, like I read the energies. I also know like when I'm gonna say a comment to somebody and somebody's gonna argue with me, I kind of almost already know. But sometimes I'll say it anyway, because maybe nobody's ever told them that they need to take action, that they can't just sit on their butts all day thinking that their whole world is gonna change. I don't know. Some people have like weird senses of like, I don't know, my parents used to say like, you're not entitled, like don't ever act entitled. Like, can you manifest and create your best reality? Yes, of course. But law of action, law of compensation. I wish I could just like have a big microphone that reached the whole world and was like, you can do what you want to do. Stop being afraid. Manifest your best life. Get off your butts. Take the steps. It's not that scary. What's going on, Jamie? I'm graduating with my AAS next week. Shit happens in the Cosmic Collective. Go, Jamie. Girl, you need to go post some updates, my friend. I'm so proud of you. This is awesome. Things do happen inside the Cosmic Collective because you are hanging out with people that are actually desiring to transform their lives. That's why you guys, you've got, like all of you, I think at this point have seen people come and go very quickly. They join and like a couple days later, they email me and say, please cancel. That's happened. I'm like, whoa. Wow, you didn't even get into the Discord and you're already canceling. That's literally wild to me. That's wild. But you know, some people want to really actually change their lives, and some people say they do and then they get inside and then they realize, oh, I'm actually going to be held accountable inside of this group. And then they're like, shit, just kidding, just kidding. Oh, back slowly away. Let's get on the energetic wave and manifest, you guys. Why not? This is my last Thursday going live. I'm very excited to be bringing to you guys more YouTube videos, more long form content. So make sure to follow me on YouTube at I am Lindsay with love. And yeah, I'm just really excited for that journey. I've been wanting to do it for so long, I'm ready to have the YouTube plaque behind me on the wall, you guys. I'm ready to showcase my play button or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called, but I'm ready to have that. Right? I'm ready to have that. Which means I've got to start focusing on it and spending more time on it. Have a great day to my YouTubers. Have a great day. I hope to see some of you inside of the Cosmic Collective. You can find that information out at lindsaywithlove.com. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for my last Friday live.